Hello everyone, my name is Slywolf, and today we're going to be doing a short-ish review on the special delivery Funko action figures. Now, I've already unboxed all of them and I've had them on my shelf for a fair while now, but I figured I might as well do a full-on video doing a little short review of them. Anyways, without further ado, let's go ahead and get right into it. And first up, we have Freddy Frostbear. Now, this is probably my favorite out of the action figures, just because he's really cool, no pun intended, but there are some complaints about it. Now, as you can see, he's made out of this kind of translucent plastic, which is really cool, but you can kind of see some leftovers and stuff from when he was cast in the mold. You can see some of the, circular bits in there and some text. So it does look really out of place there and kind of ugly. It is pretty noticeable, but it's not the end of the world. Now, the second issue is that his icicle is not held properly compared to how he holds it in game, and you have to slide it in at a kind of angle. As you can see, it's not really long enough. It's a little plain too, and he kind of holds it at the spiked bit instead of the top like he's supposed to, and he has it kind of at an angle. Now, this was actually an issue with some of the original Freddy figures, where how the microphone is held, he's held at kind of an angle like that. But, again, it's not the end of the world, just a little minor complaint. It's not really a big issue with it. But as you can see, he has all sorts of details on him, like the cracks painted in some kind of white paint. He has, the nice bright blue eyes, and he does have his icicles on his ears as well as the holly on his hat. Now, a really interesting detail about this, though, that I noticed is that he does not have his upper row of teeth. This is how Freddy correctly appears in-game, but in other, classic Freddy action figures, they made him have a top row of teeth anyway on the figure. So it's nice that they kind of went and took that detail into account on this figure in particular. Although it is kind of strange that they waited until this late to do that when, for example, the Chocolate Freddy action figure, which we're going to be covering a little bit later in this video, does have a top row of teeth. As with all action figures, you can pop his limbs off, but I'm not going to be doing that right now because I have to kind of hold the camera and I don't want to knock him over or anything or accidentally break something. So, but yeah, you can pop his limbs off and swap them out with other action figure limbs like any other Funko action figure. And next up, we have the action figure for Chocolate Bonnie. Now, this one is really cool because he has all the candy buttons and stuff, the bow tie and everything, and he even has all the cracks and stuff that was on him in the actual game, although his endoskeleton does appear to be a little different and more wide and cylindrical compared to his in-game version. And instead of his suit being hollow, he's actually made out of solid chocolate, which makes sense because if he was hollow, it would be a very fragile action figure. Now, as you know, Bonnie in-game only has a bottom row of teeth, but as you can see in this figure, he does have his top row of teeth for whatever reason. Makes sense because this was obviously made off of the original Bonnie action figure, just with some added touches and stuff to make it, Chocolate Bonnie. His chocolate does seem to be a much darker color instead of how it appears in-game. In-game, it's almost kind of a very light brownish orange, but here it's pretty much just dark chocolate, and his candy does appear to be more vibrant. I actually kind of wish he looked like this in-game. So that's a plus for me, because even though his colors aren't necessarily really accurate to how he appeared in the actual game, I do think these colors work better anyway. Now here is Easter Bonnie. Now there's not much really to say here at all. He's basically regular Bonnie, but with the nice Easter pattern and all that. What I do really like about this figure in particular, though, is that they actually did kind of take his pinkish purple glow into account that appears in-game, and it's kind of hard to see on the camera, but he does have a very faint pink tint to the pattern on his torso is really cool. He has his yellow bow tie and everything. Not a whole lot to talk about here, but still a really cool figure. And next up is Chocolate Chica. Now, this and Chocolate Freddy don't actually appear in-game, but are still branded as special delivery merch for whatever reason. They're probably just extra merch exclusive designs just to promote the Chocolate Bonnie and Easter Bonnie figures. Not that they were ever intended to come to the game. But this one's really cool because as we can see, she has bite marks on her, like normal Chocolate Bonnie, but inside those bite marks and at her feet, you can see there's some kind of I think marshmallow goo oozing out or something like that, or just white chocolate or some kind of ice cream. Now, unlike Chocolate Bonnie, who's made out of just a normal, solid, kind of chocolate, this is actually more varied because you can see there's some kind of like, chocolate frostings or whatever that is covered in sprinkles, and then a more kind of lighter chocolate down there. The Let's Eat bib doesn't have much change to it. In fact, I'm not actually sure if it has any changes to it at all compared to the normal one. All in all, a really cool figure. I do think these chocolate designs here, it would have been really cool if they showed up in game for Easter instead of Melted Chocolate Bonnie, but Melted Chocolate Bonnie is still pretty cool either way. And now we have the last one, Chocolate Freddy. Now this one's really, really cool because like Chocolate Bonnie, he has his endoskeleton exposed, and again, it is a bit thicker than how Endo 1 actually appears in-game, but as you can see, his endoskeleton's actually made out of candy as well, and he has the same, like kind of varied chocolate like Chocolate Chica has, where it's kind of like a darker frosting chocolate at the top with sprinkles, and then a lighter chocolate down below, as well as, candy buttons, a bow tie, and rainbow teeth. Now he does have an upper layer of teeth, unlike Frostbear though, who they fixed it for some reason, then immediately went back to doing it for Chocolate Freddy because I don't know, but hey. He has a purple hat and bow tie, kind of like Fredbear. I would say I prefer Chocolate Freddy over Chocolate Chica. Again, it would have been really cool to see these in-game instead of Melted Chocolate Bonnie, but yeah, Melted Chocolate Bonnie is still cool either way. I do still kind of wonder if these will ever come to the game at some point. Chances are probably not, but it's a cool thought. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video and want to see more content, please leave a like and subscribe. It really helps the channel out, and I'll see you later. Have a good one.